Well, hey everybody, it's Kev Bo Jones here with another episode of the Wonderful World of Baseball Cards. I wanted to take a break from displaying some of the cards from my collection and some of my recent pickups, and I wanted to show you another book from my childhood. This, like that Topps book from a previous video of mine, was an immense reference for me when I was a kid. And I still love to look through this book and learn and just read about all the different sets. I have spent probably hundreds of hours reading through this book over my life. I got this, I think, when I was about 15, and I have just always loved this book. It's always stayed with me, and I just wanted to show, kind of review it with you. I hope you enjoy. It's really interesting the way this is laid out, and this book is just a lot of fun, and it's kind of funny to look back at how this book was laid out. Just again, a fascinating, wonderful book and a wonderful reference, and great for kids, great for adults, great for collectors. I think you can find it online for $10. But just a really fun book. So it starts off, it breaks everything down basically by decade. Of course, there's an introduction in here. So you see here, I'm going to kind of just adjust the book, but you can see how it's broken down into the different decades. So here's 1989. 1980, and then it gives you basically a description about each set, basically that was not everything that was produced, but a lot of stuff. So here's the 89 Topps, and what I always found was really interesting about this is on the bottom they show here the value, which you can see that the 89 Topps set back then was $19, and they thought that this set would be well above average, which of course is pretty funny. But this book is just really great. There's always this little noteworthy cards section that's really fun. The pros and the cons of the set. So for the pros of the 1989 set, it says Topps continued to be the biggest and the best. However, the 1989 set proved that Topps is willing to experiment with innovations while maintaining the quality collectors expect. And then the cons are, few criticisms can be leveled against this outstanding set. Some investors may unfairly grumble that the 1989 Topps cards were too available, making them affordable to everyone. So you kind of see through. So this takes you through like the 80s, 89 Donruss. Here would be your pros and cons. The pros would be a wealth of first-time cards for rookies. More than 90 make the 1989 set unique. And then the cons for 89 Donruss are the photos aren't very stimulating in the 1989 set. Also, sorting problems and wax packs created artificial shortages of certain cards. Interesting, I didn't know that. And then it just talks about the rookies. So then here's, your 89 score. I guess 89 Fleer was in there. And then it just, as you can see, so it just goes back and forth, all of them. 1988 Topps All-Star Rookies and Glossies. It's got the Topps Kmart set here. Then it's, Fleer. This book was just so much fun. So we'll kind of jump back a little bit. Here's the Fleer Classic Miniatures, the box bottoms, 87 Donruss. And it's all chronological going backwards. So 1987 Collector's Card Company. Those I think were Bowman reprints. Burger King sets. It's got the food issues. Has everything. It's got the regional sets. Coca-Cola White Sox. Just really fun. Really, really fun. So let's go back to, say, 1983. So you can see there's just a lot of issues here. Mail-in glossies, 1985, 1984. So you can see all the issues. So here's 1983. 1983 Topps. The pros were the 1983 set is an unusually popular recent Topps set. It has all of 1983's stars at a low price. Against, it says a lot of collectors felt that Topps' decision not to issue team rookie cards, as in past years, was intended to force collectors to buy the more expensive traded set later that year. It's kind of interesting. And then the noteworthy cards are Pete Rose, Rod Carew, Reggie Jackson, and Carl Yastrzemski of notable super veteran cards. Topps included rookie cards of Wade Boggs, which sold for $250 right out of the pack, Ryne Sandberg, and Tony Gwynn. Complete set then was $85. I think it's probably less than that now. So just really fun. Really, really fun book. It's got the Kellogg's issues here. I've just always loved this book. I'll just open it up and just like read about one of the sets. And there's just so many that you forget about. So going back into the 70s, let's go back to say 1970. Here's 1976 Hostess. Let's look at 1975 Kellogg's here. Let's see what it says. So here's it gives you a picture of the cards. So the 1975 Kellogg's set says that the cards were attractive and inexpensive. The 3D look is especially popular with superstar collectors, and these cards really jazz up a display of regular cards. Against, the plastic lamination is prone to cracking and curling with age, greatly lowering the value of a card. As with all the Kellogg's sets, it is difficult to find single cards since the cards are usually sold in complete sets. And then the noteworthy cards are Steve Garvey, Carl Yastrzemski, and Mike Schmidt make their first appearance in the Kellogg series. The Jim Hunter card can be found with either the Yankees or A's logo on the back of the card. He was acquired by New York prior to the opening of the 75 season. The Oakland version is scarcer. And then it shows you the values. So this book is just, it's so much fun. So much fun. 74 Topps, 72 Kellogg's. Here's the 72 Kellogg's all-time greats. I think I'm actually going to work on putting that set together, the all-time greats cards. The cons for that set, though, are that most collectors don't like cards of players issued after their careers are over. They don't seem legitimate. Also, there is the problem of the plastic cracking and curling as a result of the age and handling. So that set was worth $12 in 1989, that all-time greats set. So here's your 1971 Topps Supers, Topps Greatest Moments, 71 Kellogg's, and then here it goes back. So you see each decade's kind of broken up like this. This book was just so much fun. So much fun. And like I said, again, a great reference. 69 Topps. Let's look at here, 1962 Post. So then it gives you the history of the set. And then the pros and the cons of this set are it's an attractive, relatively inexpensive national set of the early 1960s. Against, it says it's hard to find an excellent or mint set. And then it talks about the noteworthy cards. There's Jello, which are almost like the Post. Here's your cons sets. I love that the Wiener the world awaited. It's so great. So great. 1962 Pepsi Tulsa Orioles. 1962 Cons Atlanta Crackers. Bell Brand Dodgers. I mean, it's got everything. I mean, almost everything. I know there's stuff missing, but, here's the 1960 Post. I don't know if I've ever seen one of those. Now let's see what it says about the 1960 Post set. So this is a 1960 post of Don Drysdale. And it says, this historical first set from Post is a collector favorite today. Oversized cards make attractive additions to superstar collections. Against, large-sized cards don't fit easily into a standard collection. The cards are also very rare and very expensive. So the superstars in this set: Don Drysdale, Al Kaline, Harmon Killebrew, Eddie Matthews, Mickey Mantle. Football greats Frank Gifford and John Unitas, and basketball stars Bob Cousy and Bob Pettit. So these cards fetch a pretty high premium. I'm going to look on eBay just to see what one of those goes for after I'm done with this video. So I hope you're enjoying this. Lake to Lake Braves. So now we're in the 50s. Let's look at what the 1952 tops here. Oh, here's interesting with the Red Heart dog food, and here's why you see so many of these in really good condition. It says in the history, let me look here, let me find it. Let me find this. It says, not long ago, collectors could still order the 1954 baseball cards issued by Red Heart Dog Food Company for a couple of dollars. This well-kept secret meant that a large number of cards are available today in top condition. In 1954, Red Heart issued the 33-card set just one more of the 6 baseball-related premiums that could be attained by sending in Red Heart labels in cash. So people, it says let's see, there's the red background cards that were sent in later years. It says there's no real difference between the series. But yeah, it's just really interesting that, like, I think probably up until the 70s you could still get this full set of the original cards for the Red Heart. So that was just a brief digression by me. But there's Johnston Cookie Braves, 1953 tops. There's your Bowman color in black and white. More Johnston Cookies. So here's your 1952 tops. Let's see what it says. Most collectors consider the 1952 Topps set to be the first real Topps set, and it's widely collected as such. The large format cards allow for an attractive design on the front and decent write-ups and stats on the back. Completing a set is challenging enough to keep even the most avid collector searching for a long time. It's proved to be one of the finest investments of all baseball card sets. Well, I think that they hit the nail on the head on that one. It says, like, the cons are, it says, for a large number of collectors, completing the set is little more than a fantasy. The high-numbered cards are truly scarce and expensive, especially in top condition. And the cards aren't getting any cheaper. So it's just really interesting. At this time, the set was going for $38,000. The mantle was $6,500 in excellent mint condition. So yeah, should have got those mantles back in the 80s, I guess, huh? For the price of a Dodge Aries K, right? So then we go back. It's interesting to see when you get into the 40s how few issues there were. You see, like, most of the book is, it thins out pretty quickly here. But here it kind of goes back and just shows you all the different sets from the 40s. Here's one that I always liked, the 1938 Gowdy Heads Up. I'd love to get one of the big rookies like Jimmy Fox or something from that set. I don't know if that's Jimmy Fox's rookie, but I think it would be would be pretty cool. And it says the pros for this set is it's an unusual set that offers a large percentage of major stars of the late 30s. Against having two versions of each card seems pointless because I think some of them had the little comics drawing on them. So just kind of funny. 1934 Batter Up, Diamond Stars, 33 Gouty. Then you just kind of keep going backwards. 1920s here. Not a lot, at least in this book. You got your American Caramels, basically. 19 teens, you have your Sporting News. Babe Ruth Sporting News 1916 was going for $300, which is unbelievable. I don't know what that card goes for now, but holy cow. Joe Jackson, $50 in the Sporting News set. It says 4. The set features an early use of actual player photos against reuse of the pictures and other card sets limits the popularity of the issue. The fact that 2 sets were issued within a year's time with only minor changes creates a confusion among collectors. The same player's picture can be found with 2 different card numbers. And it looks like these weren't too tough to get. Just fascinating though. $300 for a 1916 Sporting News Babe Ruth. There's your Cracker Jack set. Joe Jackson was $1,200. Just working your way back here. I always love those mechas. I think that's what those are. Or the Hassan triple folders. Yeah, those I always just thought were super cool. These are cool, these Eastern League. Turkey Reds, I'd love those. I'd love one of those in my collection. There's your Mecha double folders. And then, of course, it gets back here to your T206. Wagner was going for $80,000. Just a great book. So anyway, and then it goes back into the 19th century here. You got your Mayo cut plug. You got your old Judge. Hess Major League. Goodwin Champions. Allen and Ginter. And the California League. Those are pretty cool. It was 1888 Hess California League. 1888 Yum Yum. More Allen and Ginter. And that's about it. Got your Lone Jack. And then it's got a list of the Hall of Famers. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this this book. It has always been one that I've absolutely loved. And thanks for watching. And keep collecting what you love, everybody.